Apologies for that pause. We're just waiting on Dean to put on his video function. There we go. And as usual, everyone, I would like to remind everyone to please keep your monitors muted for the purposes of this press conference. And also to ensure that you put your request to ask a question on the chat panel, and we'll ask one by one and take it from there. We'll get started with Dennis.
Hi, Dean. Just to kick off with a non-cricketing question. The disciplinary process between CSA and Mark Bouch will now take place in May. Yesterday, it said in the release that he will call on a few players to testify on his behalf. Just want to know if you will be one of those players, and just secondly, because it's been now extended until that date, if that would have a negative effect on the team. Thank you.
Sorry, Dean, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
No, technology is a wonderful thing. Dennis, back to your question. Yeah, obviously it was pretty new news to me that that's the process that's potentially going to be that's going to happen with regards to the hearing. Yeah, I mean, I don't think as a player you've got much control over that. I think those kind of processes have formalities, and I guess, yeah, during those kind of processes, you have to undertake whatever you have to kind of clear your name or make a good case against yourself. But yeah, it's something that I guess we're going to have to chat about as a group. It's still pretty new to us. We only heard about it today, and that's just been from a media release. So we haven't heard anything else with regards to that. Whether or not it's going to affect the team, I doubt it. I think this process has been always up in the air for quite some time now. And, we kind of knew that, we had a feeling that it might come to this kind of point where players might be asked to testify in the hearing. And so be it. I think it's a natural process that will take place, and yeah, I'm sure we'll cover those grounds within the next month. But we do have quite some time until May to obviously establish some concrete grounds for players with regards to our players representative board, which I'm sure they'll come into play to obviously assist us through this process if players are asked to testify. I haven't heard anything with regards to who and when the players would be to obviously fulfill these requests.
Thanks, Dean. Just a reminder, everyone, to please ensure that your monitors are muted if you're not speaking or if you're not asking a question. We'll have Ken up next, followed by Sanele, Telford, and Kanyiso.
Thanks, Ibakazi. Hi, Dean. Dean, this is a bit of a trip into the unknown, isn't it? I mean, I think you've only been to New Zealand once, and South Africa haven't played in Christchurch since 1999. So what are you guys expecting, and how difficult is it to actually sort of plan and strategize, given how little you actually know about the conditions?
Yeah, I think the one positive thing for us is we've got about 2 weeks before we actually kick off the test series. Obviously leaving tonight takes us 2 days to get there. 10 days quarantine where we're allowed to practice into the second half of quarantine. We're allowed to practice. And then obviously leading into the test on the 17th, we've got a few days to obviously sum things up and get familiar with conditions, which I think is more than enough time for us to adapt to those conditions. Yeah, we obviously go into a place that's extremely unfamiliar to us. The period I was there with the test side, we didn't go to Christchurch, so for me it's also going to be pretty new. But I think we go in there with a blank piece of paper with no wounds, no scars, and we can pretty much start afresh as a team going to New Zealand. yeah, it's exciting times for us still to be traveling again, be it it's in pretty tough circumstances that we have to obviously with the new rulings and regulations within New Zealand that we got to adhere to, and that's perfectly fine. We'll do that, and yeah, we're pretty excited to get another test series underway again. But yeah, pretty foreign, but we're going to have some time to get used to conditions, kind of see what the stats of the ground looks like, and yeah, and kind of use that in our favor.
Thank you so much. Hello, Dean. First and foremost, safe travels to you guys for later tonight. I just wanted to ask, aside from the obvious great performance and the intention to win that you guys want from this test series in New Zealand, from your perspective as a captain, what is it that you guys are looking for? What is it that you guys want to get out of this test series in New Zealand while you guys are there? And also, if you can, just also tell us, like, as a captain, as a leader, and as a player, how you are personally right now.
How I am personally?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously what we want to get out of this series is we want to build on something that I think we've built on the last few months now. We've started creating something really good within our setup from a playing point of view, and we want to build on that. Sure, we had a great series win against West Indies. We've had a great series win against India. But also going to New Zealand, we know it's going to be tough. It's a two test match series. We know we have to start well. That's something that we've let ourselves down with in the past. And, you know, being a 2-match test series, we can't start badly, because then we basically take away winning the series out of the equation, or it makes things a lot tougher to win the series. So yeah, we want to build on something that I feel is something great at the moment. We've been doing the right things in our own way, which has been pretty special and great to see the guys responding to that. I'm pretty sure and pretty aware the guys are extremely keen to get going again. I think when you're playing good cricket, you want to continue doing that. You want to build on what you have, and yeah, I think we're in a good space at the moment from a playing point of view. We're in an extremely good space, and I don't think we should take that for granted. We should always try and look to become better, and I think this is another opportunity for us to become better. Personally, I'm in a great space. I've had 2 weeks off where I haven't touched my bat, haven't touched my bag. I've just opened it now to see what's in there so I can pack what I need. But yeah, I'm in a good space. I've had a pretty good 2 weeks of reflection of what's happened the last few weeks with regards to the Indian series. So yeah, pretty keen, pretty looking forward to getting going again. Had a good little bit of time off now with the family, and yeah, excited to get going again.
How's it, Dean? You said in reply to Tinnis's question, the first question, that the team would have a discussion about the voucher situation or the hearing situation. And I just wondered, does that mean it's something that is hanging over the team, or is it something that could in fact unify and galvanize them?
I would like to think it's the latter. In the past, what happened there?
Sorry, Tom.
Subs. Absolute alien, yeah.
I think just keep going, Dean.
Okay, yeah. Can you repeat the question and again, please, Alfred? I mean, yeah.
Sure. No
going to the computer. Sorry.
No, all good. Yeah, with the Mark voucher situation, is that something that's hanging over the team, or is it something that will unify and galvanize the team?
I'd like to think the latter. Of late in the past, we've obviously had these experiences that we've had to deal with as a players group. And if anything, from my experience, it's really helped us. And we've moved forward in such a good nature that we've realized cricket comes first for us, irrespective of what our head coach is going through. We still supporting him through this process because we know how much value it adds to our system and our group. But yeah, we've had these tough times before, and I'd like to think that it's just another hurdle in our path that we're going to have to get over, and which I've realised we've gotten over pretty well as a players group. We realise cricket remains cricket, and that's our first priority as a players group. We need to stick together, which we've done in the past, and and let this process follow its course. But we know we're there to play cricket. We're there to win matches, win series, and that's ultimately the way I view it. And in the same breath, we're still supporting our head coach because he's a massive part of our group.
Thank you, Telford. Good afternoon, Dean, and good afternoon to the rest of our colleagues. Just to further elaborate on Telford's question, I mean, as you rightly said when you responded to Dennis, that you can't control legal processes. But does a team in particular have processes in place to avoid issues like victimization or alienation of players in the event of in the aftermath of testimonies?
Again, I think this is also where our players representative body comes into play. They will obviously assist and guide players if they need to follow the process of doing a testimony within the hearings. So I'm pretty sure guys like Andrew Bretsky, who's our CEO from SACA, he's going to be on top of this. He's got the players' welfare and well-being as first priority, and it's awesome to have him in our corner as well. I'm pretty sure there will be kind of these processes, and it wouldn't surprise me if Andrew's already established these kind of things just in case players are called to testify, and and rightly so. But I'm not sure if this is a presser about what's happening in the hearings or us going to New Zealand. So we either call it now or we talk cricket, please.
I'm up next, I think. Hi, Dean, Craig Ray here. Well, on the cricket, the Hogwarts Oval, or as we've dubbed it seems very seamer friendly. I think their three seam bowlers, Bolt, Southey and Wagner, have taken nearly 130 wickets there in 9 tests. So does that tell us that your side will be stacked with seamers, seeing as you've got quite a few spinners in the touring squad as well?
I think we're pretty aware of the nature of the conditions there, just purely out of a stats point of view. Their record there has also been pretty good. Of late, their seamers have really cashed in. And again, it's we've got 2 weeks once we land there to get used to and get familiar and make ourselves familiar with the conditions that we're going to have. I think we'll know best when we get there. But also, the stats on the ground is also something we have to take into account as well. Making big decisions now, saying that we're just going to have a seamer attack is extremely unfair for our group. We'll worry about that. I think once we're out of our isolation and have the ability to go to the ground and see what it's about. That's best served for our group at the moment. I think for now we just need to get there and respect the 10-day protocol that we have to get under our belts, and then we'll focus on cricket fully.
Thanks, everyone. I'm back, and thanks for your patience. Got hit by load shedding there, so thank you for holding your own there, Dean. Just to remind everyone, please, to keep it to one question at a time, so that everyone gets at least one opportunity to ask a question. If we get more than one, then we're taking away an opportunity from somebody else, and then we'll try circle back after that. Up next is Bidos, Pila, Daniel, and then Leeton.
Thanks. Sorry, I just posted something I shouldn't have posted in the chat box, but everyone can read it if they want. Dean, just in terms of the news that KP's out with having had COVID, obviously your batting lineup's just settled, and now you're losing a guy who's done really well. I know it's just happened, but what do you think you'll do in terms of replacing him for the series?
Again, it's just another curveball that the Proteas have to deal with. We've become pretty good at dealing with curveballs of late. yeah, it's unfortunate that KP is going to miss out on this trip. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure from my side, I would love to have seen him build on what he started in the Indian series. But again, uncertain times. I mean, these kind of curveballs come your way, and you just have to deal with them. We do have the Sorrel Avia has been our backup batter for quite some time. He's had a few series now where he's been carrying the drinks, and he's been brilliant for us off the field. So I would like to think he's maybe the one guy that comes in. But in saying that, we do have Zabrain Hamza. Hamza is coming in also to replace KP in the 17. He's also another option for us. Again, we got to see what's the best option for us going into these tests, the 2 tests. And again, it's another opportunity for someone to come in and make a play for the team and try and give the selectors a bit of a headache by putting up good performances for us. So I think those are the 2 options going forward. It's pretty clear cut that Sorrel Avia and Hamza are the 2 guys that would be pushing there for that number 3 spot. Yeah, and again, I think this is something that we're going to have to deal with while we within our 10-day break or our 10-day quarantine period, and then once we get out the hotel or the quarantine phase, we're going to have to obviously make a decision on that, because I think it's the player needs enough time to prepare and get ready to play what's going to be a pretty tough test series.
Pila?
Thanks, Sparkles. Hi, Dean. Just wanted to find out, how do you guys raise it again from a quite tough series against India, who've probably been the best side in terms of rankings and just on-field play for a number of years now, but you now face the ICC Test champions in New Zealand in their own backyard, and even though they might not have a guy like Kane Williamson around for that series, how do you guys raise yourselves again to make sure that you come out with the win?
Yeah, it's a tough one to answer in full detail, but the one thing that jumps to mind is we just have to start with a clean slate. We've all had time now to reflect and get over the big series win that we had in both formats, and that's been great for us to have those kind of moments to reflect back. But we need a press reset. I'd like to think once we get onto this plane, we're all on the same page with regards to pressing reset. There's no one player that's still got the hangover of what's happened over the last 5 to 6 weeks. Knowing that, we've got 2 tests and we need to hit the ground running here, because this New Zealand side is a seriously good cricket side. You don't win the World Test Championship if you're mediocre. They're a proper cricket side. And of late, they've been up there with the best in the world, hence why they won the WTC. And again, they're playing in the backyard. They're extremely street smart when it comes to their cricketing thinking. They're very clever around those kind of things. But we're going to have to start our conversations of what's happened in the past. It's been brilliant, but now we need to build on what we've had, what we've created. And it's yet just another stepping stone for us to become better. And yeah, I'd like to think that the guys have had a decent break now, and yeah, everyone's ready to go.
Daniel.
Hi, Dean. You asked in a previous question to keep the chat about. Oh, sorry, that's just my son in the background. To keep the chat about cricket, but being skipper of South Africa obviously means that you have to talk about a lot beyond the boundary. I mean, how have you found this extra dimension of the gig? Is it a necessary evil? Is it an annoyance? Is it a skill you feel like you can work on? How have you found it?
I've actually felt it's been okay, but I think it just takes away everything that we've achieved from a group. And for me, that's a bullshit thing. So the minute you're talking about something that's, I know it's extremely relevant in the public eye, and it is relevant for us, no doubt. But us as a players group, we've achieved so much, and it gets squashed by negativity in the media, and rightly so. It sells headlines. But yeah, I know I have to answer these things, and that's okay. I've got absolutely no issue with doing that, because I understand interaction between me and the media is extremely important. But this is a presser about us going to New Zealand. And if you want to talk about the hearing, let's create another time for that. But again, I don't mind speaking about those kind of externals. I have absolutely no issue with that. So just understand this is a presser about us leaving tonight in New Zealand to play a test series. And the 60% of the questions haven't been about that. So you can understand my frustration where I want to get the right message out there, and the questions that I receive, it's got nothing to do with cricket. Again, I don't mind answering it, it's fine, but then let's create another platform for that.
Up next, Elita, Neil, and then we'll close with Pilar.
Hello, Dean. This is again beyond the boundary, but focused on cricket. In terms of your hotel, where you have to do your isolation 10 days, are you getting your own hotel? Do you share it? Because I know that can also have an impact on how you do things, when you go to the pool, when you go to the gym, what time you can do it. Is that sorted?
It's not our own hotel. It's a MIQ hotel that they have in Christchurch, and this is the hotel they use for when people need a quarantine within New Zealand. So yeah, I think it's shared with other people, but we are confined to our room for the first third of the 10 days. We confined to our room, and once we return negative tests on day 3 or 4, we move into smaller training groups where we can go train. But then when you come back, you go back into your room. And then I think after the second third is done, the last bit, after returning another negative test, we form one big group, and that's our training group that we're obviously used to and accustomed to. And then that will obviously take us through to day 10, where we leave on day 11. We can go to another hotel. But no, it is shared with other people, but I don't think we're going to have any interaction with regards to the other civilians within the hotel. I think we would possibly be in another wing of the hotel that will allow us to have maybe some free space or getting fresh air as well, especially within the first 4 days. Yeah, it's pretty strict, I must say, and but you just have to respect their protocols, especially from the first half point of view. And once you get through the first half, we're allowed to train in groups again, which is a good thing for us. It's not a solid 10 days of locking it down, and all you see is the 4 walls. But yeah, it is still something that we have to get through.
Manas?
Hi, Dean. Sorry, that was actually 3/4 of my question. I'm fascinated by this MIQ thing because I've read, there are some people who said it's worse than prison, and there are other people who said actually it was 10 days of virtual holiday. So you've answered that, but how many days of practice, proper middle practice? And I presume there's no warm up game. Is it just going to be a couple of days of middle practice before the first test?
During the 10 days, I think we've got 5 or 6 days where we can go out and train. And only the last 3 days is with the bigger group, the extended group. And then I think from like day 6, 7, we'll be able to train as a big group. And I think we'll be able to establish a bit more of a middle practice kind of scenario game so that guys can get a sufficient amount of work under their belt. Look, it's not ideal, but we have to make it work. We have to find a way for it to work for us in order to best prepare for the series. And I don't know what we're going to be up against, but I'd like to think that it will be okay for us to get through. It's only 10 days, or it's only 5 days of hard work, and then it might be a little bit relaxed. So yeah, for me, the unknown is also quite big, but I'd like to think that there is a manageable solution for us. Bearing in mind, once we get out of the hotel, the MIQ hotel, we go into another hotel where we will be able to have a lot more free roam, and I'm pretty sure those few days leading up to the days leading up to the test match, the first test, we will incorporate a lot more middle kind of scenarios, I would think. Again, that's something that I have to sit down with the coaches and chat and strat going forward, and making sure that the guys get their best options in.
And if Pila is to be believed, Morgan is sorted with his question. So we will close with Pila.
Morgan is definitely sorted, Sparkles. Thanks. Dean, just one more question from my side. You know, obviously, KG's been somebody that's sort of been a bit of a breath of fresh air, and looks like the KG that we know when he started out his career. We had a bit of time off, and how important was that time off to give him the time off during the one-day series leg of the India series to make sure that he's revitalized and energized the way that you had described KG during the test series against India, to make sure that he has that impact that you would want from a test side.
Yeah, I think KG, especially the last two tests, his workload was immense. His intensity was massive. The energy that he exerted out there was I think the most that I've ever seen from KG. And this is coming of many years of putting out serious workloads for us. I'm sure the medical staff, they made the call to best give KG the best chance so that he can obviously fulfill our summer, which is a tough one. It's a tough summer with a lot of cricket around. Yeah, and I think him having some time off, I'm sure he would have liked to have played against India in the one days. But again, that's not for me to analyze or speak of, because I don't have those says around resting players. But I would like to think that it has given him another little bit of energy, a little bit of extra lease of life, and obviously, hopefully, the hunger within him stays like he had in the Indian series. But knowing KG, he's still going to be as professional as ever. He knows he fulfills a massive role within our side, not just from a playing point of view, but from a leadership point of view as well. Yeah, so I'd like to think the last few days has rejuvenated the man, and his legs are a lot less sore from having a really tough Indian series. So yeah, it would be great to see KG firing on all cylinders again.
And on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and thank you for your questions. We will chat to you soon. I just wanted to put a note out that there won't be any content or pressers before next week, Monday, because the team only arrives in New Zealand on Friday. So we get on the plane today, we only get down there on Friday. So we need a couple of days to get our bearings. But I will keep you guys informed, and I will ensure that a schedule is put out as soon as possible. Have a good week, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, Hips. Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thanks,